Hey, it's Elena. Revenge Shift tells stories you won't forget. Subscribe if you're ready. Let's begin.
My name is Elena Reeves. I'm 31 years old. For the past decade, I've worked as a hospice social worker making $52,000 annually. My brother Marcus is 28. He's been finding himself since dropping out of college at 19. Grandma Rose died 3 weeks ago at 87. I was with her at the end, holding her hand in the same bedroom where she'd rocked me to sleep as a child. She'd raised me more than my parents ever did. When I was 12, my parents sat me down at the kitchen table. Mom had that smile she uses when she's about to say something that benefits her. "Elena, sweetie, you're going to be the pedestal. Marcus is the statue." I didn't understand. Dad clarified. "You're smart and responsible. You'll do well no matter what. Marcus needs more support, more attention, more resources. That's just how it is." That conversation defined the next 19 years. Marcus got a $40,000 car for his 16th birthday. I got a used Honda with 127,000 miles. When we both applied to colleges, my parents paid his full tuition to a private university. They told me I should be proud to earn scholarships and take out loans for state school. Marcus dropped out sophomore year to pursue music. He's never held a job longer than 4 months. I worked 3 jobs through college and graduated with $67,000 in debt. When Marcus got his third DUI at 25, my parents asked me to loan them $15,000 for his lawyer. "Family helps family," Dad said. I was saving for a house down payment. I gave them the money. Marcus never paid me back. Grandma saw all of it. She'd pull me aside during family dinners, her papery hand gripping mine. "Don't let them make you small, Elena. You're not a supporting character in Marcus's life." But she never said anything directly to my parents. Grandma Rose believed in keeping peace, in handling things properly through the right channels. She was a retired paralegal who'd worked 43 years at the same law firm. 6 months before she died, Grandma called me to her house. She was still sharp, still herself, just tired. "I'm updating my will," she told me. "I want you to know what's in it." She explained that she was leaving me the house. The 3-bedroom Craftsman she'd bought in 1978 for $89,000, now worth $920,000 according to the most recent appraisal. She was also leaving me her savings, approximately $240,000. "Marcus will get my car and my jewelry," she said. "Your parents will get nothing. They don't need my help. You do." I cried. "Grandma, this is too much." "It's exactly right," she said firmly. "You've been paying off debt while taking care of me. You've sacrificed your 20s being responsible while everyone else was reckless. This house is your foundation, Elena. Don't let anyone take it from you." She made me promise I'd fight for it if anyone challenged the will. I promised. Grandma died on a Tuesday. The funeral was on Saturday. 214 people attended. My parents gave touching eulogies about what an amazing mother and grandmother she'd been. Marcus didn't speak. He showed up 30 minutes late smelling like marijuana. The will reading was scheduled for the following Thursday. I took the day off work. My parents and Marcus showed up in black, like it was an extension of the funeral. Attorney David Marsh had handled Grandma's legal affairs for 20 years. He was 63, methodical, kind. He opened the file and began reading. The jewelry went to Marcus, probably worth $30,000. The 2015 Honda Accord went to Marcus. Some savings bonds split between various charities. Then came the house. I leave my primary residence located at 4156 Maple Grove Avenue, and all furnishings therein, to my granddaughter Elena Marie Reeves, to be hers solely and completely. My mother's head snapped up. "What?" Attorney Marsh continued. "Additionally, I leave the entirety of my remaining estate, including all bank accounts, investment portfolios and monetary assets, to Elena Marie Reeves." Dad stood up. "That's not possible. Rose wouldn't do that." "I assure you, Mr. Reeves, this will was executed with full mental capacity and properly witnessed," Marsh said calmly. Mrs. Whitmore was very clear about her intentions. Mom turned to me. "You manipulated her. You spent all that time with her at the end and poisoned her against her own family." "I took care of her," I said quietly. "For 3 years. Where were you?" "We visited." Mom snapped. "Twice a month. For an hour each time." Marcus looked confused, like he was still processing. "Wait, so Elena gets the house?" The whole house. And $240,000, Dad said bitterly. He'd clearly done the math instantly. The meeting ended badly. My parents refused to speak to me. Marcus asked if I'd loan him $50,000 from my inheritance. I said no. That was 3 weeks ago. This morning I got a text from Mom. We're clearing out Grandma's house this weekend. You can take personal items, but the property is being prepared for Marcus. I called immediately. What are you talking about? Your grandmother wanted family in that house, Mom said. Marcus needs a stable place to live. You have an apartment. Grandma left the house to me. In her will. You were there. Family inheritance should stay in the family, Dad said. He'd gotten on the other line. You're not going to be selfish about this, Elena. I'm the family she left it to. Marcus is struggling, Mom said. He needs this more than you do. You're fine. You're stable. You're thriving. I almost laughed. Thriving. I was drowning in student debt, living in a 600-square-foot apartment with mold in the bathroom, driving a car with 214,000 miles on it. But I showed up to work every day. I paid my bills. I didn't ask for handouts. So in their eyes I was fine. I'm moving in tomorrow, I said. I gave my landlord notice 2 weeks ago. No, Dad said firmly. You're not. Marcus is moving in tomorrow. We've already started the process. What process? We're having the title transferred. We spoke to a lawyer. My stomach dropped. You can't transfer a title without my signature. Family property belongs to the family, Dad said. Not one person. He hung up. I sat in my car in the hospice parking lot, shaking. Then I called Attorney Marsh. They can't do this, right? I asked. They absolutely cannot, he said. The property is yours. The will has been filed with probate court. The title transfer is already in process to your name. If they're attempting to interfere with a legal inheritance, that's a serious matter. What do I do? Do you have somewhere safe to stay tonight? Yes. Tomorrow, go to the property. If they're there, call me immediately. And call the police if they refuse to leave. Saturday morning, I loaded my Honda with boxes and drove to Grandma's house. Both my parents' cars were in the driveway. So was a U-Haul truck. My father was on the front porch with a drill installing a new deadbolt. I parked on the street, grabbed my phone, and walked up the driveway with a box of my things. Mom came out the front door. What are you doing here? Moving into my house. This isn't your house, she said. We discussed this. Marcus appeared behind her, carrying one of Grandma's lamps. Hey, Elena. This is kinda awkward, but yeah, Mom and Dad are helping me get set up here. I looked at my father, who'd stopped drilling. You're changing the locks on my property. Your grandmother wanted family here, Dad said. Marcus is family. I'm family. You're being selfish, Mom snapped. You have a place to live. Marcus has been staying on friends' couches for months. He needs stability. Then he should get a job. Marcus's face flushed. I've been applying. For 3 years. I cut him off. You've been applying since you dropped out of college. Grandma gave you her car and her jewelry. That's $30,000. You could have gotten an apartment. Family helps family, Dad said, echoing the words he'd used when they took my $15,000. I pulled out my phone. I'm calling my attorney. Mom laughed. Your attorney? Elena, stop being dramatic. I dialed. Attorney Marsh answered on the second ring. Ms. Reeves. I'm at the property. My parents are here. My father is changing the locks. They have a moving truck. They're trying to move my brother in. Are they refusing to leave? Yes. I'm calling the sheriff's office now. Don't engage. Stay on the line with me. I put him on speaker and set the phone on the porch railing. Mom's eyes widened. Elena, what are you doing? The house was left to me, I said quietly. In a legal will. Filed with probate court 3 weeks ago. You're trespassing. Dad stepped forward. We're not trespassing. We're family. This is Rose's house. Rose left it to me. She didn't understand what she was doing at the end, Mom said quickly. She was elderly, confused. That will isn't valid. Attorney Marsh's voice came through the speaker. Mrs. Reeves, I can hear you. I witnessed Mrs. Whitmore's will personally. She was evaluated by 2 physicians who confirmed full mental capacity. The will is absolutely valid. Silence. Marcus looked between our parents and me. Wait, so Elena actually owns this place. Marcus, go wait in the truck, Dad said. But, yow. Marcus left. Mom's face had gone hard. You turned her against us. You spent years manipulating an old woman. I spent years taking care of her, I said. My voice cracked. I bathed her. I managed her medications. I held her hand through 3 hospitalizations. I sat with her every single night for the last month of her life. Where were you? We had obligations. You had excuses. A sheriff's vehicle pulled up to the curb. Then another car, Attorney Marsh's silver Lexus. The sheriff was a woman in her mid-40s, name tag reading Deputy Santos. She approached with a professional calm. Someone called about a property dispute? Attorney Marsh walked up carrying a leather briefcase. Deputy Santos, thank you for responding quickly. I'm David Marsh, attorney for the estate of Rose Whitmore. He handed her a document. This is the probate court filing showing Elena Reeves as the sole beneficiary of this property. These individuals, he gestured to my parents, are attempting to unlawfully occupy it and transfer possession to a third party. Deputy Santos examined the document. He looked at my parents. Are you the legal owners of this property? We're family, Dad said. That's not what I asked. Mom jumped in. The will is being contested. Our lawyer. Has your lawyer filed a formal challenge with probate court? Attorney Marsh asked. Silence. I thought not, Marsh continued, because there are no grounds to challenge. Mrs. Whitmore had full mental capacity, the will was properly executed and it's been filed with the court. Until and unless a judge rules otherwise, this property belongs to Elena Reeves. Deputy Santos looked at my father. Sir, you're going to need to stop what you're doing and leave the property. This is absurd, Dad said. This is my mother's house. This is your daughter's house, Deputy Santos corrected. And you're trespassing. I'm giving you one opportunity to leave voluntarily. Mom's face was scarlet. You're really going to do this, Elena? You're going to call the police on your own parents. You were changing my locks, I said softly, because you're stealing Marcus's house. Attorney Marsh opened his briefcase and pulled out a thick document. Actually, I'd like to address something while we're all here. He flipped through pages. Mrs. Whitmore kept meticulous records. She documented every financial transaction with family members for the past 15 years. My mother went very still. Marsh continued reading. In 2015, you borrowed $35,000 from Mrs. Whitmore for Marcus's college tuition. You signed a promissory note agreeing to repay it within 5 years. You never repaid a single dollar. Dad's jaw tightened. In 2018, you borrowed $22,000 for Marcus's legal fees. Again, a signed promissory note. Again, no repayment. That was family help. Mom started. It was a loan, Marsh said. With your signatures on legal documents. In 2020, you borrowed $18,000 for home renovations. In 2022, another $25,000 for Marcus's rehab facility stay. Total amount borrowed, $100,000. Total amount repaid, 0. My hands were shaking. I hadn't known about any of this. Mrs. Whitmore could have pursued collections, Marsh said. She could have sued. She didn't because she loved her family. But she was very clear in her final instructions to me. He looked at my parents. She said, I already gave them $100,000. They took and never paid me back. Elena never asked for anything. This house and this money are hers. Mom's eyes were wet. Not with sadness, with rage. Deputy Santos cleared her throat. Folks, I need you to remove your belongings from this property and vacate immediately. We're not leaving, Dad said. Then I'll arrest you for trespassing. On our own mother's property. On Elena Reeves's property, Deputy Santos said firmly. She unhooked her handcuffs from her belt. That did it. Mom grabbed her purse. Dad threw the drill into his toolbox. They walked to the U-Haul without another word to me. Marcus emerged from the truck, confused. Are we still moving my stuff in or? Get in the car, Dad barked. Marcus looked at me. For just a second I saw something, maybe regret, maybe just exhaustion. Then he followed our parents. The U-Haul pulled away. Deputy Santos turned to me. "You want to change those locks he was working on? And I'd recommend getting a security system installed." "I will. Thank you." She nodded and left. Attorney Marsh and I stood on the porch of my grandmother's house. My house, in silence. "Are you all right?" he asked. "I don't know." He handed me the folder. "These are all the documents you'll need. The title should transfer to your name within 10 business days. If your parents attempt to file a legal challenge, call me immediately." "Will they?" "No," he said. "They'd lose and they know it. They were hoping you'd just back down." I looked at the front door, the same door I'd walked through 1,000 times as a child. Grandma's house always smelled like lavender and old books. It was the only place I'd ever felt completely safe. "She really left me everything," I whispered. "She did. Because you earned it." Marsh smiled gently. "Your grandmother told me something the last time I saw her. She said, 'Elena thinks she's ordinary. But she's the only extraordinary one in the whole family. She wanted you to have the foundation you deserved.'" He left. I walked inside alone. The house was exactly as Grandma had left it. Her reading glasses on the side table. Her crossword puzzle book. The Afghan she'd crocheted draped over the sofa. I sat in her chair and cried for 20 minutes. Then I started unpacking. 3 months later. The house is officially mine. Title transferred, all legal. I've paid off $40,000 of my student loans with part of the inheritance. The rest is invested, earning interest, giving me security I've never had. I had the locks changed, installed cameras, painted the guest room. My parents tried calling twice in the first month. I didn't answer. They sent a letter saying they were disappointed in me and that I'd destroyed the family. Marcus texted once. "Mom and Dad are really mad. Can we talk?" I wrote back. "When you're ready to have a conversation that doesn't involve asking me for money, yes." He never responded. I'm learning to be okay with that. Last week, I got an email from an attorney representing my parents. They were formally contesting the will on grounds of undue influence. I forwarded it to Attorney Marsh. He replied in 3 minutes. "Don't worry. They have no case. This is a desperation move." He was right. The challenge was dismissed within 2 weeks. The judge's ruling was blunt. The evidence shows no undue influence, only a granddaughter who provided consistent care while other family members remained absent. My parents were ordered to pay court fees. I haven't heard from them since. Sometimes late at night I walk through the house and think about Grandma. I can still hear her voice in the kitchen humming while she made tea. I can still see her in the garden, pruning roses with those old metal shears. She spent her whole life being careful, being proper, following the rules. And in the end she made absolutely certain the rules protected the person who deserved it. She gave me more than a house. She gave me permission to stop being the pedestal. I'm building my own statue now. And it's on solid ground.